Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Candice and Corey. Come on up, guys, if you give them a round of applause for joining us this evening. Go ahead, take it away.
Good evening, everybody.
How's it going, guys? All right, so which one of these buttons do I click?
The right one. You're
The right one. All right.
Right there.
Okay.
All right,
That's the
well, good
next
deal.
one.
Thank you guys for allowing us to share our story. We joined Lifestyles back in 2015, but in 2014, we were actually sitting in those same exact chairs listening to some of the high-profile lead investors and investors who had started before us, and we're like, wow, I wish we could be there. And, fast forward, all we did was just kind of follow the map. So, my name is Corey, and
Candice.
we are here
What
tonight.
do you do for a living? Tell people what you do.
We
Or
are
did.
or did. What did we do?
We have retired from our day jobs. I
Yay!
guess, years. So, thank you. So I was in marketing. I worked in a sales position at a marketing company, and
I used to do anesthesia at some of the local hospitals around here. A lot of you guys might know UT Southwestern, Parkland Hospital, Baylor. I was putting people to sleep, waking them up, and keeping people comfortable during surgery.
Cool.
And he brought some people here with him. So Corey has a following. I get these calls like, hey, Corey told me to call you. I'm like, oh, really? What do you do? Same thing he did, anesthesia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's brought a lot of members to the group.
it's coming now. It's awesome.
and Corey still goes into the hospital like once a week or two
How do you?
to keep his skills up. But our focus is our properties, and we're excited to share our story with you guys tonight.
Okay, cool.
All right. So why did we join Lifestyles Unlimited? Candice, I'll let you take that one.
So we both had interest in real estate investment. So I'm a third generation real estate investor. My grandfather invested in real estate. My dad did. And then when I met Corey, he had read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that had sparked his interest in investing in real estate. So when we joined together and started dating, we found actually Lifestyles Unlimited when we were engaged. And
They thought it was a swingers club.
And we came to a meeting, and then we were like, okay, let's sign up for the 2-day. And then the 2-day, we met David, and we were hooked. So
The 2-day, just so people, they don't know what the 2-day is if they're new.
Okay.
The seminar I'm teaching here this weekend, that's what they're talking. When they refer to the 2-day, it's a seminar I teach 16 hours long how to do all this stuff.
yes, so we joined, and
Well, we didn't just jump all the way in right away.
That's
So
true.
we started off with the 2-day, which Dave will teach this weekend, and we were still a little unsure. So we took baby steps, and we took baby steps all the way until we got where we wanted to be, following the map. We started off in single family. We bought a few single family homes, and then we joined up into the next membership, and we started investing as passive investors in some of the other lead investors deals. And then after doing a few of those, we decided to take the next step and become lead investors. So we basically took our little baby steps, and that's kind of how we got there.
And really, can you explain to people, because there's people out there watching, they don't know what the word, he used limited partner or passive investor or lead investor. Could you give a basic 2-minute description of what all that is to the folks watching?
2 minutes, I'll try. Okay. I'm so long-winded, and anybody who goes to any of the meetings I'm in knows this, right? Okay. So a lead investors, they will take on a property that an agent, a multifamily agent, MF agent, will bring to them, and they will do all the analysis. They'll submit the LOI. They'll sign the contract. They'll do all the due diligence, the inspections, ensure that is a good, profitable deal. Because when you all are looking at putting your money into something, the very first thing you're concerned about is this. If you're going to put, say, 25, 50, 100K, $1 million, whatever your number is, into a deal, the very first thing that you're concerned about is my principal investment safe? Will I get it back? Am I right, John Pry? There you go. OG, right? The second thing that you're concerned about as a passive investor is, will I get a return on my principal investment, right? So a lead investor puts all this analysis together using a multifamily quick analysis that all the lead investors in here, IROs, use, same one, right, that we mentor to. All right, just let me finish, David. I know, shush.
So, Tasha, I didn't say 2
You said
minutes.
2 minutes. I got 30 seconds, all right?
Go ahead.
The passive investors like John, Pryor, Marty, whoever that are in here will see this analysis. They'll see the story about the deal, right? But they're not really completely investing in the deal, are they, John? They're investing in the lead investors, right, who've got a proven track record of massive success. That's what they put their money in because they know that they've done all the upfront work, they've got the reputation, and so forth.
And then the people that are passives, like he just mentioned, they put in money in the deal. They don't do anything. They get a check in the mail. Who likes that idea? So that's what you're saying. So when you see these folks up here talking about their deal, they're the ones there every day working the deal. The other investors that are people, watch this. We're about to show a deal. Is any of your investors in the room tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Raise your hand. So you see all these people raising their hands. I know you can't see it online. There's probably 30 people in the room raising their hands. They put money in a deal. They're not doing crap. They just said, where's my check? Who likes that way of investing? So I just want you to know two
Show
different
me the
types of
money.
investors. Yeah.
Sleep.
All right. So the deal we're going to talk about tonight is called the Monet. It's a 256 unit property. We bought that last March. Actually, March 30th was when we closed last year. So we'll be coming up on the 1 year mark. We bought it for $95 a door, and this has been this is the textbook value play story. Candice, you want to share anything else on that?
Let's go to the next slide. Hold on. Oh, okay.
You guys are rushing too fast. $24 million? There's nobody in this room with $24
Okay, so
million.
what David wants to know,
There you go.
what David wants to know is, you guys see this cash out of pocket? So it's the 7.7 million and some change, blah, blah, blah. So did you have one investor, or did you guys just put all 7 million in there yourself? How many investors do you have in this?
We have about 100 investors in this deal.
Okay. What is the smallest amount that was contributed to this deal?
25,000.
25,000. So can anybody in the room put in 25K for a multifamily investment? Yes, of course. I see all the heads north and south, right?
Hold on, there's more. Because realize we have people from all across America. We have people from Hawaii, Israel watching online. Are all your investors here in
Sure.
Dallas?
No, we have investors all over
Across
the U.S.
country.
So could you just give me a couple states that people are invested from, just so you know?
California is one of the states.
Georgia,
See, even communists can invest, just so you know. Georgia, okay.
Hawaii.
Hawaii, see, okay.
Yes, we have Hawaii.
So I want new people watching, or even new people in the room, live where you want to live. Enjoy your lifestyle, you understand? But invest where it makes sense. If it makes a great rate of return, because we have people doing deals like this all across America, and people invest as low as 25K. Now, I have one more question, then I'll turn it back over to you, Alex, because it's very important things, right? Because you just skipped over all that like you always do, but that's okay.
I'm a MF mentor, okay?
I don't want to know what that means, but you have 100 investors in this deal. Of those 100 investors, how many physically went out to the property and looked at it?
Oh,
You
that's a
think?
good question.
well,
Approximately.
because of COVID, maybe a handful.
Yeah, it wasn't that many on this deal.
So let's say 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and my point is this, guys, these passive investors, they put 25, 50K, 100K, they've never even been to the property. They just said, where's my check? Do you understand that? I'm trying to bring it out to you. You don't have to go to these properties to invest in them, okay? Go ahead.
All right.
But so that everybody knows why they had a handful of investors there was because they opened it, they asked their investors, hey, would you guys like to participate in the due diligence with us, walking the units, walking the property? And what's genius is you should see how analytical they are. The spreadsheet, well, what was it, the Google
Oh, he's talking about our unit wall.
Oh, the unit walk
walks.
form.
Yeah.
The unit walk form, the most detailed I have ever seen, but simple to use. So when you have members, some of you have probably never walked. Imagine some of you in the room walking 10 units in a day. Have you ever walked 10 occupied apartment units and you see everything? Like the stuff you guys see on TV and movies, that's what we do, okay? That's what we see. Anything your imagination can think of, yeah, that guy knows what I'm talking about. We have seen it. You see it. But what they did is they put together this simple unit walk form where you just touch the radio buttons on your phone. It was beautiful so that we know under the sink in the kitchen, is it leaky? Is the wood rotten? Things of that nature. Are there holes in the ceiling? Do the cabinets need to be redone? Anything you can think of in the units, they put it together so we could be in and out of the units in 7 minutes.
Yeah,
Sounds
under
about
10
right,
minutes.
yeah.
There you
Under
go.
10 minutes.
So a little bit more on the story on this one. It was an out-of-state owner, California guy, older. He was basically just using the property as like an ATM. He would just take money out, never put anything back in, and it was full of deferred maintenance. Like the roof was bad. It was 72% occupied on day one. The other units, they weren't just empty because they couldn't lease them. No, those were down units. So the other 28% of the property, they were in horrible shape.
Yeah, so tarps on the roof, siding rotted, falling down on every single building on the property. You name it, buildings crumbling, cement, trip hazards out of this world. It was in the pits.
The pool was green.
The pool was green. They had pictures on Google pointing to the roof, like when you see the reviews on Google for properties, there was a picture pointing to the tarp on the roof, saying how bad this property
We toured the
was.
property and the manager.
She sounds awesome!
The manager was asleep in the office on the couch when we came for our tour.
Also, there were armed guards on this property when we toured. And they were telling us there's
Courtesy patrols!
there's prostitutes here, there's drug dealers. Are you sure you want to buy this property? Like, they were telling us like all these things.
Street-level pharmaceuticals. We got to be politically correct.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. We got to be PC. But the thing is, we weren't scared because we had the support system of Lifestyles Unlimited. We knew the map. We knew how to follow the map. And we knew that we had Alex and all the other mentors and the multifamily consultants that we could call. And we knew the market. We studied the market. We did our market surveys and studied the surrounding properties and knew this, what we could do with this property because the other properties surrounding it were able to turn their properties around. So
really quick, now that you scared all the new people, we have a model here we teach called best product, best price, service by the best people at a particular price point. So we buy ugly properties that are run down like this, we fix them up, and we make them beautiful. Doesn't everybody deserve a great place to live? And that's what this story's going to be tonight. It's like going out on a date. This girl was ugly, she had buck teeth and all that. I want you to look her in the eyes and go, maybe. That's the girls we want to date, okay? So you're going to see this horrible thing that is explained and then see that we turn this ugly duckling into a swan. Does that make sense? Okay.
All right. So these are some of the financials here. This is where we closed last month. Doing pretty good here. We are holding off on distributions after we finish stabilizing. So it takes a while to turn a property this big. So when you have 10, 20 units, think of that kind of like a jet ski. This is more like a cruise ship, so it's not going to turn around as fast as a smaller property would. So we're in the middle of fully transitioning this property. We're actually 92% occupied today. We had dropped the occupancy all the way down to the 60s on this property, so we've come a long way.
in a short time.
So these are some before and after pictures. The picture on the left is what it was before, and picture to the right is where we are today.
So we rebranded this property. The original name of this property was Broadmoor. Again, we studied our market and we knew what we needed to do. We needed to make a jaw-dropping, beautiful office. When you drive up to the property, it needs to be gorgeous because the other surrounding properties invested a lot of money in making their offices beautiful. So we knew we wanted to be the best in the market, so we had to do even better than them. And we rebranded it. We have this cool name, the Monet, that we decided to name the property that Corey came up with. And we were able to have a cool theme. So this is the before, old Broadmoor, and now we've got Monet.
Cool.
This was the office before. There was nothing in there. And that couch was the couch where the manager was actually sleeping.
Yes. And you see some, this is like cement bags in the back, and this is what your prospects are coming
That's
into.
called ambiance.
Some more before and after pictures.
Does everybody agree it looks 10 times better?
So you can't see, but there was siding falling down. I mean, we redid the landscaping. We did these cedar balconies, cedar fences. Again, best product, best price.
There's your green pool.
I did see Swamp Thing in there when I was there initially.
Yeah. So we took out some of this old, updated it, this old pergola. We updated, the pool area to make it just look new and modern. Added this cabana area. So
It has when you guys, it's amazing just being out there, seeing the office, walking through the office and going to this amenity area right here, this pool. It has this like double A class, because there's different types of A class, right? You have A class and then double A class apartments. This has that double A class feel when you walk into it, and it's the first thing the residents see, and that's why they're able to take it from the 60% occupancy up to 92%. It sounds like a small number to a lot of you guys, but it's a monumental task to achieve what they've achieved. And the amount of money that the property is making, taking it from the 60s to the 90s, is also amazing, which you will see here when we get to that spreadsheet.
So by show of hands, who would want to live in an apartment on the left?
That looks like gangster, read all about it.
I love the wallpaper. Here's your bathroom before and your bathroom after.
Anybody want to eat out of that bowl? No? Okay.
So here are some of the numbers here. These are some of our pro forma rents. Year 1, year 2, year 3. The cash on cash for year 1, we're in the middle of repositioning, so we're not going to be distributing. We're going to be holding those rehab reserves and cash flows to make sure we get through our renovation successfully. Year 2, we're going to be projecting out 6%, year 3, 9%, and these are based upon our original pro forma. Actuals may be better.
So in other words, if you're new, it's real easy to understand. All this stuff I'll teach you what this means over the weekend. The goal is 6% by the end of the second year, and a 9% return tax-free by the third year.
All right.
But here's the
But
big
this is the one that matters. This is all that anybody
Alex
cares
just wanted to
about.
get over there. He goes, who cares about 6% return? Let me show you what you're going to make. Let me show you a pee in your pants exciting number.
There you go.
So as of year 3, after we finish everything on our project and we go to sell, we're going to be collecting about 152% return on our original investment for all to the passives.
Did you hear how excited Mr. Analytical got? 152% return. Guys, that is freaking awesome. You took 100K and you turned 150K on top of your 100K. Who'd be okay with that? That would be life-changing for everybody in this deal. And every one of your investors make that return, whether you put in 25K, 50K, or 100K. You understand that? It's a rate of return. Life-changing. Give me a hand. I mean, that's huge.
All right. So how did we increase the NOI? Candice, you want to kind of go through this?
Sure. So operations, we focused on our operations, removing the troublemakers. So we mentioned the armed guards at the property. who was the courtesy patrol. So we used them for a couple months and then got rid of them because they were causing more problems than helping.
And that's a big thing, Candice, I want to bring up. You understand, when we take over a property and it's full of bad people, good people don't want to live with bad people. Does that make sense? But when they took over and you start making the whole property beautiful, do you realize bad people don't want to live with good people? Because it stops their extracurricular activities. They can no longer do door-to-door prostitution. They can no longer do drug dealing, so they don't have to keep the security there.
Right.
They get it, they clear out the bad ones, and then guess what? We don't need it anymore. So I want you to understand the big transition they did by doing this. It's huge.
Absolutely. Robust marketing. We had to up our marketing game. We had a billboard on a major freeway to advertise our property. We did apartments.com, spent a lot of money on marketing because we needed it to draw in the traffic that we wanted and to get our property full of the best residents and to do it quickly. So our goal is always to be the market leaders. Again, best product, best price. Like we're our own competition. Pushing rents. So with going in, renovating the units, improving the property, having good team members on site that take care of our residents, take care of our property, we're pushing rents. Resident appreciation events, we do those once a month. And we love on our residents. That keeps our renewals high, and we want happy residents that take care of our property. And then actually doing work orders and making sure that those are completed. Renovations, we had 72 down units. That means there were 72 vacant units, non-occupied units when we took over the property. So what that means is when you have that many vacant units, you have vagrants that are going to want to come in to break into those units. So that was a balance.
They're not vagrants. They're financially disadvantaged individuals.
Speak a little bit more on that,
Yeah,
Corey.
talk about some of those down units.
Yeah, some of the down units, so when you walk in, the ceiling's caving in.
The paint is running away from the wall.
Paint literally running away from the walls. You name it. I mean, like you see all kinds of animals that had once lived but no longer are living. You just see all types of things that you probably don't want to see.
And it was a delicate balancing act, making sure that we got the property full of residents that met our rental criteria in enough time. Because if you have that many down units, then you're going to have more problems on property. So it was like fast and furious, us trying to get through this.
We were renovating at one point, about 30 units a month.
Guys, that's a huge number. Those are multiple. How many crews working?
We had 6 crews running.
Through COVID, where no one wants to work because of the government throwing helicopter money at everybody.
Of course, we improved the marketing, the drive-up appeal, the curb appeal, fixed over 10 years of deferred maintenance. As Corey said earlier, the previous owner hadn't put any money into the property for over 10 years, not 1 cent. Like he was just collecting money.
Just collecting money.
And then just made our property beautiful.
Well, one thing that I want to show you that's really huge in this list, for the existing residents, the people that have been living there, putting up with this crap, not having hot water heaters working stuff, this is huge for people. When you actually perform work orders, when you actually do what you promised somebody, you will retain the few good people that are there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you had a high turnover, but were there some actual good people living there amongst the...
Yes, there were.
Yeah,
There
so,
were.
and did they come up, here's one of the things I think is so cool about lifestyles, about what we teach people, best product, best price. The people that are living there, did they come up and thank you when they saw the transition?
Oh my gosh, we would read like text messages and emails and hear about how much people appreciated us being there and getting some of those bad apples out of the property. And then there's people that are still living there that have been there for 10 years or more.
So how has Lifestyles changed our lives since joining? Wow, that's I don't know how much time we have. So we're both pretty much retired from our corporate jobs in our 30s. We've made some of the best.
Wait, does that piss you off they're in their 30s and retired?
We have some of our best friends, and I mean this, like some of our best friends are in this room right now, and we've made those friends in Lifestyles. Like it's totally different. It's crazy, and I'm gonna skip to the next topic before I start watering up over here.
Taught us the value of our time. We control our days, which is great. Even though we work long hours, but we're in control of our time. Multiple sources of income. Of course, how much X have we increased our net worth?
It's infinity, because when you start off at negative, I mean, where do you go from negative? You can't really X that, so yeah.
We have a growing family. The crazy thing is we renovated that property last year and had our son that year too, and bought another property last year. So it was wild.
And how big was your other property you bought? You bought another one too, right?
Yes, that one's 200 units, and it's also 99% leased and beating pro forma rent, so we're doing good on that one too.
There you go.
So allowed us to help multiple families. That's one of the most important parts, is not only are we helping our investors that trust us, that we're also helping our residents, and we're affecting a lot of people. So that means a lot. And then our team. Our team is our everything. We can't do what we do without our team, our on-site team. So we do a team appreciation events every quarter. We're planning something for this quarter for our team. We went to Top Golf one quarter.
We did
Christmas party.
speed car racing one quarter. Like we self-manage, so everything that we do, we have our hands on. So that's something that we really like doing, and that's what one of the things that Lifestyles teaches as well. So what are some of our goals? Oh, that's our little man right there.
So that's Caden, and that's our guy. He's 6 months today, or 6 months, he's just amazing.
Yeah, that's her baby right there. So
It's yours too.
Short-term goals: help other leads get going, continue strong operations, and find additional value, add properties to buy. And Candice, what are the long-term goals?
Start traveling again. We definitely want to start doing that. Create a scholarship. Education is the most important thing. We spent a lot of money on our degrees, and
Which you're not using anymore.
but
Good
Well,
point.
you always use the reading, the
to
math,
that
the
point,
English.
some people
They have
think,
really good reports.
to join Lifestyles, it's X amount, but how much do you spend on your education? And what are you going to get out of it? Like Corey just said, our net worth has increased to infinity because of a small investment that we made 5 years ago. So education is key. And we want to support that.
Okay.
Build a legacy for our son and help as many investors as possible, of course. And we want to win some awards. Once we have time
We're gonna
to
get him a banner up there with all these other goats.
Yeah.
Goat is a affectionate term, greatest of all time, just so everybody knows.
Do you know one thing I love about this couple here is I remember several years ago, I live in San Antonio. They're up here in Dallas. And they go, Dave, can we really do this? Absolutely. If you ever come to San Antonio, I'll go out to dinner with y'all. And they drove all the way 5 hours down to San Antonio to have dinner with me and my wife, and looking them up, they're up here on stage now. Give them a
We
hand.
totally did. And we just want to say thanks to everybody. Big shouts to Alex, Don, Mike, Paul, Kevin. It's just so many people in here. All of our passive investors.
Yeah, we can't do it without our team.
Yeah, we can't. Every one of you guys was on our team. Like
We appreciate
Christina
it.
over there. Everybody. It's like so many people in here.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right, so if anybody has a question, now is the great time. And Leo, you are up, sir, sire.
I wanted to say congratulations on you, and also, hope maybe you would call your company like the 3 C's, and then when you have 4 kids, it'll be the 4 C's. But I just looked it up on to see how many cars drive by your apartment, and you put this big old it's a backlit sign up there, which I'm so proud of you for doing. And I mean, it showed the one that was there before. We had the tree branches in front of it, and you couldn't read it. Anyways, that's great. But you have, I looked it up, and it's 250,000 people drive by your apartment every day on I-20. Mm-hmm. That is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I mean, what a marketing scheme. Man, you don't have to market, man. You've got to make it.
And by the way, they can't call their property the 3 C's because they're not Aggies. They get better grades than that.
Who else has a question here? This is an opportunity for you guys to ask them something. All right, here's one for you. Did you guys start with a 200 unit, or how big was the first property that you ever owned?
It was 18 units.
18 units.
I know someone who started with 18 units.
Yeah, you were in it with me, buddy. Yes, he did.
I was just curious more about building out your team, because I know you're doing a lot of appreciation and everything to keep them motivated, but how can you walk us through a little bit of when, I'm sure at 18 units it was you guys, and I'm just curious that a little bit more color around that.
Talk about the growth process.
Yeah, the growth of building out like your management side.
The economies of scale when you upgraded.
So I will say that is our continual, it's our biggest challenge, and it continues to be our biggest challenge because it's a people aspect, but we have spent a lot of hours putting together systems and processes. Most of our operations are all digital at this point. So it's taken a lot. Corey has spent countless hours putting together foolproof processes for our team to make sure that they have the tools that they need, the support that they need to reach the goals that we have in place. But this property in particular, the Monet, because it was such a distressed property, and as fast as we were going, 30 units, turning 30 units a month, it was a strain on our team. It was a strain on everybody. So we did have some turnover, and that taught us, this property itself taught us so much about how we take care of our team and what kind of support we need to provide them. But I mean, just to be honest, it's a continual learning process, continually finding ways to support them.
Another big aspect of this, people, especially if you're new, don't do this by yourself. We want you to do it for yourself. We want you to make great rate of returns, but it is about a team. This is a team sport. And one of the most powerful things here at Lifestyles is before we have the case study night, we had like 40 of these lead investors, people like this, get together in a room over there, and we do this every single month, and they share their best practice. They open their books to each other. Now, I want you to think about that. If you own Valero over here, and this guy owns Exxon, do they share their books with each other? But yet they were in that meeting there, and if they come up with a problem, there's 40 other guys that own apartments too around you that could share, here's how I fix that problem. Who agrees that would make you stronger? See, that's the power of Lifestyles. We do this in every single city like this, and that's the power of Lifestyles, is that abundance mentality of helping each other. It's huge.
And the multifamily consultants, we've called Christina a lot, or reached out to her a lot recently, and she's given us a lot of tools to help our team. And even down to interview questions.
Yep. Yeah, if you've never done it before, who are you going to ask? Well, Christina has 20 years plus experience in the industry.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Cool.
Who else?
Got one more here, and then we'll go get some online, too. Okay?
So just kind of looking at the before and after pictures, the thing that kind of, resonates in my mind is, man, Franklin, you are terrible with design. So my after may look like your before if I had to do it myself. So I'm kind of curious, how much of it when you're kind of buying the property and you're looking around, are you kind of already having your head how it will look? Or are you working with somebody else to kind of come up with that design and the color scheme and the landscaping, everything?
Everything is a team sport. Like, I'm a more or less a numbers guy. Candice is more of the visual operations people component. But at the end of the day, like, it's a team sport. So you take input from everybody to come up with a masterpiece, so to speak. I will say that, the best way that we found to hit your numbers, hit your pro forma, is to get your curb appeal looking good from day one. As the faster you can get your curb appeal, the faster you will accelerate past your pro forma rents.
Yes, but to piggyback off that, we got help. Yeah, we got designers because we knew what we needed to do to hit our business plan, and we had to have a beautiful office and a beautiful curb appeal.
One of the biggest things you'll learn in this, surround yourself with people smarter than you in each area. So get experts, and that's what they did. Cool. So take some online ones, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, Gabby says we love Candice and Corey. If Monet started as a C property, where is it now?
Good question. Candice, you want to take that one?
I'll let you answer that one.
I would say we're in that B- area. The type of prospects that we're attracting now, they work. They're teachers. They work at hospitals. Those are the type of clients that we're attracting now versus what was there before. Were not to say anything bad about anything or make it sound any type of way, but they weren't
They weren't the professionals.
You
weren't the
repositioned your property,
Exactly.
which
Thank
got
you.
better clientele.
Exactly.
Thank you
Thank
very
you, David.
much,
Thank you.
David.
Yeah, see how PC I am?
Okay, we have one other question. How much did you spend on rehab, and was it included in your financing?
All of the rehab was included in financing. A deal like this where you're repositioning very heavily, you're going to bring in a lot of operating capital to make sure that you have enough reserves in addition to your rehab capital. So we brought in about $16,000 a door in rehab, which comes out to about $4 million in rehab. But we brought in an additional $1 million in operating capital so that if it rains outside, we're not, struggling. So on a deal like this, and they'll talk to you guys more about this this weekend.
I'll explain this in simple language. Even Nagy can understand it this weekend. So.
But there's things like negative carry and things like that because you're not going to cash flow on a deal like this from day one. So they'll talk to you more about that and the reason why you want to have a good amount of operating capital to hold yourself over.
So I want you to understand this. When you come to my summer this weekend, we're going to talk about different types of apartment deals. This is called a value add, situation where you won't make money from day one. There's other ones where they're pretty properties and you just put a new manager and making money from day one. This is like going on a date with the ugly girl and she needed a little bit of work. Does that make sense? But she's beautiful now. Right?
What is your analogy you used in your last report about Monet? It was a horse analogy.
So Monet was like our wild stallion, and now she's like our award winner now. So
There you go.
That's the name of our cigar group, Wild Stallions, by the way.
That's also like from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
That's where we took it from.
Wow. High end. Cool. You have one question right there. Right there. You get to run, exercise. Go.
So first of all, amazing story. I think about 6 months back, we pretty much were very hesitant investors, so to speak. I in fact did not even come here, and pretty much my wife dragged me here. Right. So, and now we are, proud passive investors in 3 deals.
Oh, good.
Including the one that, not this one, but the next one that you did, the Arbors.
Okay.
By the way, amazing communication throughout the entire process. We knew exactly right from the time that we soft committed all the way through even like the latest reports that I saw from you guys. Wow, it's like details after details after details. If there was anyone who wanted to actually really understand what was going to happen with every single one of your units, they could actually read through that entire report and they would know, right?
So you were my skeptic that came to my seminar before, and now you're the believer.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
Good.
after three, I mean, and we got on to three deals.
You invested in 3 apartments? Good.
Passive, yeah, right.
Good.
And the process in every one of them, the process has been truly amazing.
Good.
Even the portal, right? Right from you soft commit, there is a. I think it's a great way.
So you're saying the communication, everything is exactly right?
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely, right. And what we absolutely also loved is, you guys are busy people. You're dealing with so much stuff. And even then, when we are sending an email, we are getting a response immediately, pretty much, right? I mean, that's like.
So you're saying, oh, that's horrible, where's my check?
Absolutely. Now, the question that I always wonder, right? I mean, when I look at all of this is amazing. Are there days when you really think, oh, shoot, why did I get into this? Are there days when you think that, why am I doing this, right? It's like, is water's blowing up somewhere and something else is happening somewhere and, you got a police complaint on some, and I've seen some of this and I've heard some of the stories, right? What keeps you going, number one? And secondly, what kind of support system do you have to come out? Because it's like, you may say that I've seen it all, and even then you have not seen it all. Something pops up, right? So that's it. Those are the 2 questions which I always wonder.
Well, what keeps us going is we've committed, and failure isn't an option.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Do you want to speak to that?
I can definitely speak to that. I mean, there are lots of so there's a difference between being a lead investor and a passive investor. And the passive investor, they don't have to worry about any of this. But the lead investor, they're up at night. They're up at night and they're wondering how to solve problems. So you don't become a lead investor unless you enjoy problems, because literally all you do is solve problems. Mm-hmm. So I'll say that what keeps me going is I enjoy solving problems. It's a sick pleasure.
It really is, because it just, once you're in it, because we talked about this the other day, I was just like, what if we slow down? Like, what if we don't buy a property this year? But then what are we gonna do? It's like, you get addicted to it, and the thrill.
It's like crack. I got them to become crack addicts. But you don't realize the thrill of knowing not only are they changing the trajectory of their future and the legacy of their child, but all these other families they brought along with
Yes.
them. All of you that invested with them. Well, I know, but I'm just saying, think of that. They're changing people's lives for the better. Isn't that what Lifestyles teaches? Mm-hmm. And that's what the point of this all is real people, real results. And this is it. So not only are they winning, but you're all winning as well. Does that make sense? That's the cool thing about Lifestyles. So, yep. It's not Monet, it's Monet.
Monet.
It's supposed to be a Y on the end. Monet! They named it after Wu-Tang Clan. Cream, cash rules everything around me.
Let's cast our Monets.
Cool. All right, we're good? Anyone online? We're good?
We have one more if you have time.
Okay, we'll do one more from online. Is that cool?
Okay.
Okay.
What is the biggest challenge you faced with a Monet, and how did you overcome it?
Biggest challenge.
Biggest challenge.
It's hard to pick one.
It's really hard to pick. Wow.
Hook a grandmom.
I would say the people aspect.
Yeah.
Because when you're renovating 30 units on average a month, you're managing your team, you're managing the vendors on property, you're managing, your business plan, making sure you're communicating to your investors. So
You're managing the lender and their expectations. You're dealing with everyone's ego. It's a lot. That's the
And when he
challenging
says
part.
ego, he means from the team, from the on-site perspective.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
there's just a lot that goes into this. So just being able to manage the people aspect has been the biggest challenge, but also the most rewarding part of it.
Yeah. I mean, look at your final product. It's beautiful. These people all have a proud place to live now. I mean, they change. I mean, they're not doing this just by themselves, but the whole community is better. You understand it? The police officers come by and say, wow, look what you've done. You know, it's a big aspect of it. So give them a hand for that. It's awesome. You want to do one more? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uno mas.
Quick one.
Quick one. How did you find your renovation team? You said you had 6 different crews. How did you find all the people?
We do referrals.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
our network within Lifestyles helps us, other leads, going to the lead meetings.
Yep.
That helps us.
So real quick, so when we have these mastermind meetings, we do 2 each month. The first one that we do is the aspiring leads. The leads have never owned a commercial real estate asset within our group, right? And then we have the lead mastermind after that. And so in that mastermind, we talk about anything and everything, like some crazy stuff, people, that you wouldn't believe, that you again, see in TVs and movies, right? We talk about that stuff, and a common question is, who's your plumber? Who's your electrician? Who's your carpenter? And there's 5 or 6 hands that go up. Well, I use this guy, this guy, this guy. Oh, I use them too. So what we do is we share experiences about who we're working with and why we're working with them. And you get your people, just like that.
And cheap is not always good.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hello, yes.
There you go. Cool. All right, give them a hand. Thank you.